Hi there. So one of my Facebook friends, Kevin, asked me about golfer's elbow. So golfer's elbow can be quite multifactorial. There can be many reasons that we feel this pain in the elbow. And typically what we're looking at is, why is the elbow being overstressed? Why is it having to do more work than maybe it should do? And that's why it's getting so pissed off. So my approach is this, is that we know that in the backswing, as we accelerate into the ball, there's something called proximal acceleration at work. So basically, from this position, the hips begin to initiate the downward swing, then comes the trunk, then the shoulders, then the arms, then the wrist, and the final thing to actually kind of begin to accelerate from this position up here is the golf stick. Because we're accelerating through the ball, at some stage, maybe just before we're hitting the ball or just afterwards, we have to start slowing that down, so we have to start decelerating. What happens then is everything within the whole body acts as a brake, trying to decelerate that golf club as much as you can. And the order in which it is done is exactly the same order in which it actually speeds it up. So as we're just about to make contact with the ball, our hip, once again our trunk, our core, our shoulders, our arms, our wrists, and the last thing to actually slow down and decelerate is the actual golf club, the head itself. So what we have to look at is what part of that body, in terms of slowing down, might not be effectively decelerating. Now, one of the common areas that we look at is the hip. Okay, it's very often the hip doesn't do what it's supposed to, a bit of a guilty party, not applying as much braking power as it could do, and the elbow gets chewed up. So what we have to do is we have to look at what kind of motions that hip has to go through in that deceleration kind of zone, that deceleration phase. So the way it actually goes through is something called internal rotation and a little bit of adduction. A couple of technical terms for what the hip actually does in that actual slow down phase. So what we would do, what I would do, is if I felt that was the case, then for my client, what I would do is try and get them into that position, to mimic that position just in that hip as much as possible, and work on mobilising the area as much as we can. So it could be as simple as just kind of having a little bit of stability with a viper here and just doing a little step around with a little kind of soft knee on the left hand side and really feeling a nice big stretch on that left hip there. So as I rotate this hip around to the left, I'm getting some internal rotation and adduction of that hip, which are exactly the same motions that I get when the hip has to start decelerating throughout that golf swing. So once again, I would try and mobilise this area, stretch it, and then I would have to add some strengthening stuff in afterwards. And that would be my approach to helping the hip to help the elbow. So once again, just to kind of recap, yeah, it's not always the elbow's fault. It isn't necessarily a bad elbow when you've got golfer's elbow. Very often the problem will be elsewhere in the body. And what we have to do is find out the area that isn't helping, make it better again, and so that hopefully they can all help each other out, be friends again, and hopefully you can go and hit that golf ball again without any pain in your elbow. Okay, I hope that helps. Anyone got any questions, please buzz them to me. If you've got any more information, go to my website, www.tonyballcoaching.co.uk, and drop me a line there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. Cheers.